fiercely private, reclusive, handsome, independent. These are all words used to describe Sean Daniel.
This is supposed to be funny.
You gonna say anything?
This is supposed to be funny, Sean?
So today is very special.
Joke?
Today is very special because I'm gonna pull back the curtain. Mysterious. It's another one. Pulling back the curtain to do a studio tour.
Sean, you better not have
That's. She's always worried about getting her feet.
Yeah,
your feet will not be part. Your feet won't be part of the studio tour, as integral as they are to this whole operation.
How dare you? You better not leave that in your trap.
Of course it's getting.
No, it's not.
So today we're doing a studio tour.
Absolutely.
A lot
today,
of people.
Wait, hold on. What was the intro joke? I missed it. Oh, Sean's independent, and mysterious. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Is it because you're not?
That of course not. I'm not private. I'm an open book. Let's get to the studio
Dude, I
tour.
don't understand what we're trying to call.
I got a new desk, and people have been like, "What do you use? What's the gear?" Today we're gonna find out. Let's start with the desk. What do you say? Okay.
So what was that intro?
We ride. Might I welcome you behind the camera? This is the famous couch. Most of the content you see happens at. But what if you flip the camera around? The desk where all the production happens. This is a new desk I got off of Etsy because there's a giant desk shortage in 2020. Andrea, you know what I'm talking about.
Legit,
It's like
so
impossible
true.
to find a desk at any store. So I'll link you if you guys are interested. I paid about $1,000 for this desk, which I'm notoriously cheap, contrary to what you may see here. But I held off getting like a proper desk for a long time until enough of my friends made fun of me that I finally went and I got this and I put it together, and I'm glad I did. So let's talk about the cool things about this desk and why it's racked in here, right? So we got the Ortega keyboard, which is built in. How fancy is that? So I can hit the keys at a moment's notice. I got the iMac set up, Adams A7X monitors. Basically everything is kind of going through the interface right here, the UAD Apollo 8. I have this analog summing setup, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, the main thing that most of the stuff you're gonna hear is gonna go through this preamp right here, Universal Audio 6176. Plug a microphone into here, then you have like an EQ and a compressor side, and that's kind of like my main channel strip. Other than that, I'll do like stereo mics for a lot of the acoustic guitar stuff, and those go through a different preamp. This 4710, made by the same company, Universal Audio. This is 4 different preamps that go into the Apollo, and 2 of these pre's actually go through these 2, which are analog EQs, Pultec clones from Warm Audio, which really just make everything sound better. If you take time to like get stuff on the way in, I think those really improve my acoustic guitar sound. And I also use them for drum overheads and stuff too, all right? So after that, we have this dangerous music D-box. This is where analog summing comes in. Basically like those giant format consoles. One thing that arguably you lose is the sound of all the tracks being summed electrically, and instead it's done digitally. So basically I have all the outputs going out of the Apollo in through this D-box, and then if you look under here, right there, see like a thing with the green lights? That's a Dangerous Music 2-bus LT. So I have another converter taking another 8 channels, summing them through the 2-bus along with the D-box. Then they all go out through this stereo bus compressor, but also by Warm Audio. And then you have the beautiful music made by the Emeryld Ryders, Andrea and Sean, my stuff, etc. Cool? That's basically that. I have this Sensel Midi Keyboard that also can be wireless. This is really cool. You can like take the skins off of it and do like a bunch of stuff with it. I like the key bed mostly. I've got the Moog Workstot. I just recently did a video on that. Another analog synthesizer. And the main microphone I have is this guy right here, Audio-Technica AT4050, all right? I've got that. Behind that is the Roland SPDSX. This is basically kind of like a electronic drum kit, almost in one pad. I use that mostly just for jamming more than actually like recording stuff. But yeah, that's basically the entirety of the desk. Then after that, this is the new camera, by the way. All the stuff I shoot on is on Sony. So this is Sony A7C, which I have a legendary rant video about coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. Andrea's filming it with a ZV-1. which is just kind of like an awesome point and shoot that has decent audio. So this is just like the audio on the new Sony thing.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I used to shoot on this A7 II, which again, full frame Sony Alpha. I've had this camera for several years, but it doesn't really shoot in 4K. Same thing with the RX 105. So this used to be my main rig, and it still works for like 1080 stuff, but 4K, the other stuff is better. By the way, we've arrived at this picnic table looking thing with a massive guitar pedals on it. So I guess we can kind of like just quickly just run through a bunch of this stuff, right? So this is a Rockboard pedal board, which is massive, and it has actually 2 different pedal chains going in that are always constantly getting swapped out. It's powered by a Voodoo Labs pedal train, which is underneath this. Or no, the Mondo, not the pedal train, the Mondo, whatever. And basically, we've got 2 different signal paths, right? One of them goes through the Walrus Emissary Clean Boost. I think I've done videos on pretty much all these pedals at some point or another. This Clean Boost goes into the ZVEX Fuzz Factory that my dude Justin Mitchell got me. Shout out, Justin. To the Earthquaker Devices Palisades. That's another awesome distortion pedal. Into the Digitech Whammy. We also have Ernie Ball Volume Pedal. Classy, right? EHX Micropog, Octaver. Chase Bliss Phaser right here. This is a Chase Bliss / Cooper Effects 1 of 1,000 generation loss pedal, which is really cool. It's kind of like a lo-fi pedal type deal. That goes into the Pigtronics Infinity Looper with its pedal. I also have the Cooper Effects Outward, which is like an awesome kind of like glitch sampler pedal. The top level is actually mostly like a synth thing because these are all stereo pedals, which I have the Strymon Timeline and the Walrus Juliana, famous Juliana fame. You know what I'm talking about, Andrea.
Go stream Juliana, our song, Andrea and Sean.
That's right, into the Strymon Big Sky. So these 3 are actually separate and they go right into the interface, but I'll come stereo out from the synth right here. These are other pedals that I just kind of use plug and play, all right? This one right here, Infinite Jets by Hologram, just awesome like noise generating pedal. I haven't done a video on this, maybe I should do one on that kind of soonish. MXR Clone Looper, sometimes I just bust out for like easy like looping pedals videos. Old Blood Noise, one of my favorite pedal companies ever. These are 2 really fun pedals. Minim, this is a delay / reverb, and White Cap. It's actually 2 tremolos, like in one, that you can use back to back or at the same time, which is really cool. This is my only JHS pedal that I have. This is a color box. Really, I like using this on bass guitar most of all. It just really kind of like thickens up bass sound, but you can really EQ it to do whatever you want. And an analog Alien EPI effects pedal interface. This is really cool because you can plug your guitar into it right here and then send it out to multiple amps or like multiple pedal destinations. I use this mostly for reamping if I want to like come out of the interface back into this and then maybe like amp it up, something like that, right? So to the amp, why not? Let's go over here. This is the main one. Fender Deluxe Reverb Reissue. Love that amp, just like the best clean sounding amp ever. Sounds great with pedals, sounds great with everything. I generally mic that up with the Earthworks SR25 mic. Sometimes I'll use the SM7B. And then under here we have even more pedals, right? This is the mini rock board by Warwick. And that powers the Empress compressor into the Walrus Audio Trinity here of the Iron Horse, the ARP87, and the Slow. And above that, I have another looper pedal that I kind of use sometimes, depending on how I'm practicing or whatever. The Boss RC30 Loop Station. And that's basically, I think, the totality of the pedals as if I don't have enough pedals. Right?
That's obnoxious.
It is kind of obnoxious. Here is the
Muppets?
The Ottoman of Muppets and Baby Yoda, which require no explanation. But this guy right here, Dave Smith, the Prophet. I love this thing so much. I haven't decided if I want this on the desk or how I'm gonna actually display this, but the Prophet goes on like all my tracks in one way or another. If you go behind the amp down here, this is basically a fire hazard mess of battery chargers.
Oh my gosh.
And whatever. So let's not spend too much time over there.
Let's not.
Let's go.
Oh gosh, the light.
Let's come on over to Capo Corner, shall we? Oh look, it's Capo Corner, Drea.
You only have 2 capos?
This is where I keep my capos. These are my top capos, my top 2 capos. They're sitting on top of my Mesa 525 Express, the dirtiest, awesomest amp in all the land. To the left of that, we have the legendary Taylor GA3, which now I keep in an open tuning because I've changed guitars, essentially. As we keep going away from Capo Corner, towards the drum kit, Andrea, please, won't you?
What a mess, Sean.
This is my stools.
Yeah, oh
and,
cool.
And a music stand. I know, that's cool. A bag full of cables back there behind that. Yeah, that's
what you guys don't get to see, the magic.
I know, right? The real magic. I've got the Ed O'Brien Strat, which I'm actually probably going to sell soon just because I never play it. So I'm going to probably put that on eBay soon, along with maybe some other stuff. So again, I love the Ed O'Brien Strat. I just never play it, and it's time to pass it on to the next owner. Behind that is the Mackie Active PA system, the Flex, the SRM Flex, which is great for like just super small gigs, maybe up to like 50 people or whatever. There's an open mic that I'm kind of helping out with that they use that amp whenever that's starting up again. But yeah, after that we go to the kit, right? So this is mostly a PDP kit. Oh yeah, look at that, the Ryders.
If you don't know, the Emeryld Ryders is the people's band that you can stream everywhere.
Tell them more, Andrea.
Remember, there's a Y in Emeryld and a Y in Ryders for whatever reason.
Shush. So yeah, it's basically just kind of like a pretty standard PDP birch kit. Other than the cymbals, I think the cymbals I took a long time picking out, just because it takes, I don't know, I feel like that the character of my playing is mostly Zildjian, pretty exclusively. I have Zildjian Custom K hi-hat, Splash, the custom, I guess this is whatever, Crash. And then the flat top ride. I love the flat top ride right there. Sounds. I love that. Love the custom kit. And then the only A I have is this Crash right here, which is like your typical rock Crash. Right? Love it. I've got the overhead mics. These are Neumann KM184, matched pair. The funny thing about recording acoustic guitar, I used to use them both for acoustic guitar, but now I actually use one KM184 and the SR25 from Earthworks because I just feel like it has a different vibe. I used to be all about like, oh, it has to be a matched pair. I don't really think that anymore. I think the SR25 sounds great with the 184, and I feel like my acoustic guitar sound has gotten better in the last, since I started using that. So yeah, I have Audix D6 on the kick, and Audix D2 on the snare, and that's basically how I just mic the kit up pretty minimalistically, I suppose. And then after that, we can go back over to this side of the room. Unless you want to talk about the guitars on the wall first.
Probably.
All right, so this is the Epiphone semi-hollow that they sent me. Pretty cool guitar. I just haven't really played it recently because there's a lot, and it just looks great on the wall. Let me tell you, everybody.
It does.
After that, we've got the custom Telecaster, American Telecaster paint job that my mom did. She chalk painted that. Get a little closer. Let the people see the detail. Oh, look at that custom chalk paint job. Thank you, Mom. Love how that guitar looks, right?
It's classic.
Super classic.
Classic SD.
Just like my mom. Aw.
Just so you guys can have that one too.
All right, there is a Cordoba Flamenco guitar, FCE 55 FCE, I think. I got that. I bought that back when I worked at Guitar Center, and we got stuff super cheap. To the left of that is the Journey Instruments Emeryld bass. That's a carbon fiber traveler guitar, like the head pops off and goes in a backpack. So if I ever need to travel
when the riders are on the road,
on my rider journey, that's the one. On this side, oh, here we got the Fender Ultra Strat, the Texas T Ultra Strat. Potentially the best guitar I have? Question mark? I don't know.
I think so.
Then on the wall, we got the Schecter Apocalypse for End of Days.
Which we all called.
Me and Andrea actually unboxed that in a video. And then we said, you know what would be the worst apocalypse? A global pandemic. And then that was actually a year and a half ago we did that, and here we are in the midst of a global pandemic. After that, I have the Special, the USA Special Fender. Or no, Professional. Yeah, the Professional Tele. It's like the bargain, less expensive USA Telecaster. which is awesome with the humbucker in the neck because I like to keep it classy. Then the D'Angelico Mini DC semi-hollow. That's one of the newer ones to the family. Love that. That's the Juliana guitar.
Juliana is our original song.
Yeah.
That is available everywhere under Andrea and Sean. Go listen to it.
So good. The original, the 62 reissue Sherwood Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. Definitely a milestone for me as far as like my first like really great guitar. I was working at Guitar Center. I saved up forever to buy that one. It has a pretty big neck, so it definitely doesn't play as good as the Ultra Strat, but it kind of has sentimental value, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we got the Gibson Sg Special, which Gibson sent to me. So shout out, guys. Just classic, iconic, right?
Literally.
After that, we have the rack here.
Rack.
We got the Ernie balls in here. The Albert Lee HH. I bought this in a late night eBay binge after seeing St. Vincent slay with one of these live. And I lowballed this guy, and he was like, offer accepted. Which again, lowball for that is like $1,200 or something like that. And then I was like, crap, I guess I have to pay for this now. And then, after that, she stopped playing that, and she made the St. Vincent signature. So Ernie Ball sent me this, which is great. It's got a very similar neck. It's really similar to the Albert Lee in a lot of different ways, except for the body, obviously. But again, this might be my favorite guitar out of all of them. Either that, again, in a video a couple weeks ago, I said if I had to keep 3 guitars, it would definitely be the Ultra Strat, the Music Man, and then the Ryder. The Ryder, D'Angelico Deluxe SS. This one, this is the one right here. If you need a semi-hollow, D'Angelico's got you covered. And then bass-wise, Rickenbacker 4003, classic, right? And then the exact opposite of this bass, at least in the 4-string category, is the Music Man Bongo. Just like the depth and punch of the bongo and playability is like awesome. Whereas the Rickenbacker definitely has more of like a signature type tone and a different kind of way to play it. All right, we got the Fender G-Deck 30 that I use for some kind of lessons and if I'm just jamming around. The beautiful thing about this amp is it has 2 inputs. It has like a teacher-student input on the front and back, so you can plug 2 guitars into it at the same time. It's pretty cool. This corner right here is Pandemic Corner, where I just basically have a Wii U hooked up because I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Since I haven't been playing live shows, I used to play live all the time. Now my nights are kind of free, and essentially I just play old Zelda games. Because that's what my life has become now. With the massage, the foot massager into the chair, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
Sean.
doesn't get much. But if you back out a little bit, this is the live rig setup. Essentially, this is the Bose L1S, which I just love the Bose stuff for performances, especially for like acoustic duo stuff, which is like what we do /
our brand
did, or with the violin. You know what I mean? It has the tone match mixer that you can get with it. That's basically like you can plug more stuff in. I see it as like 4 main inputs that we have. So me, Drea, and Pasha slaying the violin. This is it. This is the one.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got some.
A slew of guitars.
Yeah, I have so many guitars.
It's so obnoxious.
Taylor 614 CE. This is like the crown jewel that Taylor sent me. Where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like officially a Taylor artist. Like, thank you guys.
You finally made it.
And then Fender too, the Fender Acoustasonic, which I've talked about in great detail on the channel. Love that. It. Behind that, the Gibson 333. I think I'm gonna sell the Gibson too. I never play it. I love the D'Angelico semi-hollows. I'm a D'Angelico artist, and they treat me great. I don't really need the 333 anymore, so I think I'm probably gonna end up selling that. I just need to get a new tone pot knob for it because the knob broke. There's nothing wrong with it.
Huh.
Taylor 12 string, which again I bought in another late night reverb binge.
We know.
Yeah. Then we got another Journey overhead, the puddle jumper, which we just did a video on. Giveaway coming soon? ?
Absolutely.
I don't know. The Traveler guitar.
The white guitar that has no.
The white headless one.
Headless.
Mm-hmm. And then the tiny forgotten instruments over here. We've got the Ortega guitars ukulele, which is really great. They gave me that and a little guitar lele, which is just like a ukulele but with 6 strings, so you can play it like a guitar. I have a mandolin, which somehow has a capo on it that escaped capo corner. And the charango I got when I went to Peru.
The charango slept on.
Yeah, I really slept on. I haven't used that in forever, but sorry. There's the Arturia drum machine, which was the backbone of our song Going Under, Andrea and Sean. Check that out for sure. The live stuff, sure. KSM 8 microphone. It's basically the one of choice. I also have an Audix OM5 for the secondary live thing. Then I have a book of Irish folklore that I basically am inspired by to write more Ryder tracks with the official Ryder Beanie Baby. Next to that, I have the Behringer vocoder of Ladies from the 80s fame. I know.
You don't have to say anything.
For those who know, they know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, under that, we've got the Moog Sub Fatty, which is actually my brother's, but I think he bought it because he just really liked Daft Punk, and then he never used it, so he gave it to me.
Huh.
And then under that, I have hard drives, and a box of stuff, like my Peruvian bird flute, tambourine, Shure SM57, some gaff tapes, Shure SM7, shakers, Ernie ball, patch cables, etc. Another 4K camera.
Oh, why?
For whatever. That's the one. This one's cool. This is the one that Davidas uses. Actually, this thing lasts for like 4 hours. So his live gigs, you just set it up and then it lasts till the battery goes out.
You should use it.
Yeah, and then just these other boxes of.
No one really cares
Straps.
about this stuff.
There's a wah pedal. There's a ditto looper in here. Ernie ball tap tempo. There's an Ebo. Another capo that escaped from capo corner.
John, you've never had a cable corner.
And then
Oh gosh, you're actually showing this part.
this is called the graveyard, the box graveyard, which is just all like the boxes that I still have to break down, and the cases.
Oh my
And so,
god.
yeah, listen. I know.
Dude, the cases are everywhere.
It's kind of exploding. I'm working on it. Again, I'm a real YouTuber. I'm not the guy that just spends all day cleaning to do the studio tour. No, absolutely not. This is the real nitty gritty that you're getting here, behind the scenes. I got my bass amp here. Ampeg, Portaflex. Really love this thing because, especially back in the day when I would do bass gigs, oh my gosh, 100 years ago,
Throwback.
right? You can just pop the top off and then flip it, and then it just goes under, and then it turns in. Well,
Whoa.
yeah, this thing is great actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can store stuff in there too if you need to move it around. So that's why this is a great gigging bass amp.
Can't wait for the band.
And then I've got some more guitars.
Yeah, as if you didn't have enough.
Cordoba, little dusty. C7. If you're looking for a classical guitar that sounds great, that's inexpensive, Cordoba C7. It's awesome. I bought that when I had to teach some beginner classical stuff because I'm a classical composer. Another carbon fiber, the Kloss indestructible one. This neck kind of screws off. So I would say it sounds pretty good for a traveler for sure. And Ortega classical they sent me, that the string just popped off. That's why it's just here, because you know I love restraining things. I have a Donner electric that I shot some
this one
videos.
looks awesome.
Yeah, this is like the classic sunburst one. Shot some videos for Donner's website.
Love
on
Donner.
that. And then I have a slide guitar that I haven't used in 100 years. A Recording King slide guitar. Lap steel. It was like $100. And then another Journey backpack.
The
Road
micro
cases.
freak.
Also, I forgot my kazoo, which I've been known to go live and do kazoo covers of all-time great songs, disrespecting them to the best of my ability. So that's pretty much it. And I almost forgot the last 2 guitars that I keep in my room. The D'Angelico Lexington XL. Great dreadnought. The only dreadnought I have, believe it or not. A 25-year-old me would have been like, what, all these guitars, you have one dreadnought? And then the Martin GPC that I've used live. This guitar has suffered, and it's in perfect tune. I haven't really played this guitar since the last performance, which was what, 4th of July? Was the last live show we had? Yeah. So it's been a while for this guy.
This guitar has gone through everything. I can tell you.
As you can see, this guitar has seen a lot of road wear, and it just sounds great and plays great. So that's why that's in its case, just because it's been waiting for the next roadworthy appearance. But yeah. So thank you for joining me through my travel through consumerism and excess. Because really, you just need one guitar. You know what I mean? Why do you need more than one acoustic and one electric? I don't know. YouTube is cool that companies want to work with you and they send you free stuff. So that's where we are. But some stuff is going up on the auction block soon enough. So stay tuned for that. If you have any more specific questions, and the only thing I didn't talk about, headphones I use are the Audio-Technica ATH M50s. I have 2 pairs of those. They're just kind of chilling over there. But I think that's pretty much the entirety of the gear. So yeah, if you have any questions on anything, let me know, because I've recycled gear over and over and over again through the years. And you just learn a lot. You learn what you like, what you don't like. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.